Yes, good people, how are you doing? Let's continue with our lessons, né? I hope you've been enjoying them. So now I would advise you to watch them in the very same sequence that I post them on the thing, because one upload builds from from the previous one. Right? So let's see, my friend. So today the thing that we'll be talking about is how to draw a trend line. As much as people would think, well, this thing is easy, we can all go on our chart and draw a line, but it's only few who are going to draw an accurate trend line, because it's not all about going there and just joining lows and highs and say this is my trend line. Why one? And you must have a reason. There must be logic behind how you draw your trend line. Sometimes you'll find people drawing trend lines like this. We are going down, right? And then you see someone joining this and say that's a trend line. Right one. Now to me, it's not. When I'm going down, I can only have one trend line, which has to be above. When I'm going up, I can only have one trend line, which is below. If you see someone, the thing is going down and then they are putting their trend line this side, wrong. It does not, to me, it does not make sense. And I will tell you why. Just stick around and I'll tell you why you should never put your trend line below if the thing is going down. When you're going in the downtrend, the only valid trend line should be above. I'll tell you why. So let's start with, as much as we can say the concept of trend line is, you must break it down. It's called what? Trend line, right? For you to be able to draw a line that defines a trend, you must first know where now. You must remember the previous concept, nailing market structure, which basically talks about what? The trend. So the first you must identify the trend. You must identify whether you're going up or you're going down. All right. So if you're going up, it means our trend line should be a bullish trend line. And then if the structure is barking, it's barking downtrend, then we'll be drawing what? A bearish trend line, right? So the first thing, you must be able to identify the trend. And remember, in the previous video that I made about the trend, which was very, very, very important. So it's very, very, very important for you to be able to identify the trend, which means if you don't know how to identify the trend, just make sure that you refer back to that video. And then once you know how to identify a trend or to define a trend, then you'll be able to draw a line or trend line that best fits that trend. So let's continue. Remember, I said let's start with what? Let's say what do you call this? Downtrend. Let's start with downtrend. Right? Remember when we said when we are going down, how do you tell that the price is in a downtrend? It will be forming those lower highs and lower lows, right? And I said if we are going down, there's no way we can put our trend line this side. It's not gonna help us. I'll tell you why. Now I best believe that the reason why we are drawing a trend line is so that we would know if this trend is in a downtrend, we would know. We should put a trend line where it will tell us if the downtrend is coming to an end and if the price is about to prepare for a new trend, which could be consolidation, a new structure, which could be consolidation or uptrend. Né? So that's why it's very, very important that you put your trend line this side on the upside, so that I will know if the trend line is broken. If the trend line is broken, then I will know that are we now moving into consolidation, or are we now moving from downtrend to uptrend? So I must put it this side so that when it gets broken, I will know and stop selling, because we're going down and I was selling. For as long as the price is still playing underneath my trend line in the downtrend, I'm more than welcome to sell. I'll continue selling up until the day the trend line is broken, and I'll continue selling up until one of the lower lows is taken out, which is the concept that we spoke about in the previous lesson at the market structure. So these are the things that you need to take into consideration, or you must always keep in mind when you're drawing your trend line. Number one, you need to have, let's start with the uptrend. In an uptrend, right? for me to draw a trend line in an uptrend, I need to have a new high, or what, a higher high. Right? For me to draw a trend line after identifying that we are in an uptrend and we don't have to necessarily cover all the lows, and you are joining what, just join 2 or 3 recent lows. Right? So this is what I mean, because remember we defined the uptrend. There are, we will see high, 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 high. Ne? Number one, for me to be able to draw a bullish, or a bullish trend line, I need to have what, a new high. A new high, what's that? So this was a high. So the moment the price goes above that high, it means now it has formed a new high. So if it gives me a second, because we said we need what, 2 or 3 recent lows. So let's just do it in a sequence so that I do not lose you guys. Let me just start it like this, right? This is our first high. We come down, we form our first low. The moment it forms, it takes out that high, it makes a new high. It means the first one is what, tick. We do have the first criteria, the first thing that we need for us to be able to draw a trend line in a thing. And we also need to have at least 2 or 3. So we'll be using 2 or 3 recent lows. In this case, we still have only 1 low, so we can't draw a trend line using just 1 low. So the moment the day the price comes back, for as long as it doesn't do that, because remember, if it does this, it's no longer uptrend. We said uptrend, it needs to be what, a higher low. The moment the low goes lower than that low, it's no longer a higher low, which means it's no longer uptrend. We can't be drawing a bullish trend line. This thing must make sense in your head. So we want it to do this, rather. We want it to do this. We want it to do this and go back up. And go back up. So our tick number 1 going, we have a new high which is higher than that, and we have 2 lows, and the low mustn't be lower than the previous one. There is our low. The day we have that, then we can conclude and say we have a trend line. Because remember, we said the trend line, we're doing what? We join the recent 2 or 3 lower lows, or the recent 2 or 3 lows. So this is the first low, this is the second low. So another thing that you should keep in mind is that for as long as we are saying, well, one of these two, make sure that they always apply, because you can't have this. Let me show you. Uptrend, still on uptrend. We can't say dish, something like this, and then you are saying, okay, let's say this is a low here, this is a low, right? Let's say structure looks something like this, and then when you are saying, okay, let's go up and say this price came from up there, né? So you can't say this is my low number 1, this is my low number 2, and then it means I have what, a trend line. No, you don't have a trend line, because remember I said a trend line. For you to be able to draw a trend line, you must first have what, a trend. You must either be in an uptrend or a downtrend. So in this case, if you are drawing this type of a trend line, you are saying you are in an uptrend, right? And we know that for us to say we're in an uptrend, we need what? We need to have a higher high and a higher low. In this case, we do have a higher low, but where is our higher high, guys? Where is our higher high? This high here, the price is currently here. It is not higher than that. But at the day it moves over that high, then we know that it's automatically going to form a higher high. That's when you can put a trend line and say I have what? A bullish trend line. You see, that's how you define, that's how you draw a trend line. You can't say you have a trend line here. This can't be a trend line, guys. This is not a trend. Remember, I said break this thing down. Trend line. First have a trend. Is it uptrend or downtrend? If it's uptrend, where are my higher highs and my higher lows? Because remember, I need to have both of them. Then I can join the lows. And then when we are going up like that, this trend line here, it is very important, because the day it is broken, the day the price moves below it, I will know that I can't keep on buying, because we are no longer, when we are buying, we are saying we are in an uptrend. That isn't why we are buying. So the day the thing is broken, when we take out this low, it means we are no longer in an uptrend. I cannot buy. And that's why the trend line is very, very important, that we have a trend line on our chart, and it must be as accurate as possible, because it's going to be very crucial in us deciding whether we should continue buying or not. The date is broken, and this low, the high low is taken out. We know that for as long as, if we have been buying, now we should take our trades out, cancel them, take our profit, or we must stop buying, because we are no longer in an uptrend. We could be moving into consolidation. That's option number one, or working downtrend. You see, I hope this makes sense, guys. The concept of trend line is very, very important. We mustn't just go on a chart and then start drawing lines and stuff like that, because remember I said, when you're going up, we can't put this trend line here. Why? Some people will tell you this. Let me show you why. Now I don't believe in that nonsense. It's because people will say we are going up, right? And then someone will put a trend line here and say, when the price comes here, I want to sell. Does that make sense to you? Yes, here, that's what I'm saying. The stuff that you do, it must make sense. If you think about it, the logic behind it, the reason why you're doing what you're doing should make sense. In this case, now say, why are you thinking, number one, what's the market structure? You're going to tell me we're going up. It's an uptrend, right? Which is correct. And then when we're in an uptrend, are we looking for buying opportunities or selling opportunities? Buying. Right? Correct. So yeah, Nong, if you are putting this trend line here, are you saying that when the price hits the trend line, you expect this to go down so that you can sell? Why are you selling in an uptrend? First of all, why are you selling in an uptrend? That's why now I'm saying I can't put a trend line above, or I can't join the highs, higher high and higher high, when I'm drawing a trend line on barking in an uptrend, because it does not make sense. Because when I'm in an uptrend, I should be looking for buying opportunities. And if you're putting the trend line there, it means when the price gets here, you'll be expecting it to bounce and go down so that you can sell. Of which you shouldn't play like that. We're only putting it where? Here, so that, sorry about that, we're only putting it here, so that the day it comes here, we say we are still in the uptrend, we are buying, and then it goes up. The day it comes here, we are buying. We will continue buying it like that until the day our setup fails, and then it comes below. Then I know that, oh, I'm no longer buying, we are no longer bullish, we are no longer in an uptrend. So that's the logic behind why you should put your trend line like this and not like this. I hope this makes sense, guys. So I don't want to make the video too long. So obviously in a downtrend, you'll just use what's this? You'll just watch the concept that I made now, uptrend, and then if you swap that, this will be your trend line on a bearish. And then for as long as the price is playing below it, when it touches there, and then it gives you signs that it's about to turn, and then you're more than welcome to sell, because it will be below the trend line. Mara, the day it fails, the day the thing fails, the day this thing fails, it means we now stop buying, stop selling, and then take profit of all our sell positions or sell trades. Why? Because the structure is changing. We are no longer bearish. We broke the bearish structure, which is what? A bearish trend line. The bearish trend line is broken. We are no longer bearish. We are no longer selling. We wait for the price to maybe form a new high, then we can put a new trend line there, and then say now we are in uptrend, and then we continue buying. That's basically how you trade, guys. So that's why it is very, very important that the trend line that you're drawing on your chart is accurate. If the trend line is accurate, then even how you take trades, it will stand a higher, it will have greater chances of working out. So let's go on a chart and try and draw a bullish trend line and a bearish trend line. Someone can say, why am I not drawing a trend line for consolidation? Remember, for us to have a trend line, we must be in a trend, and trend can either be uptrend or downtrend. Consolidation is just the state in between the two. It's not a trend. We're not trending. When we are trending, we must have a direction, either up or down. So consolidation, it's not we're not going up or down, we're just consolidating. We're just in a state between uptrend and downtrend is consolidation. So there, in consolidation, if I'm doing this, I can't say this is a trend line. No, this is our support line and a resistance line, or resistance level, support level. A trend line must be at an angle. The moment it is horizontal, it is support or resistance. That's it. No need to complicate these things. Let's go on a chart, guys. My friends, let's go on a chart and identify uptrend, downtrend, draw a trend line. All right, we're still using our USD CAD to draw the trend line. So we said in the previous video that I was defining the trend, we said from here to the current price there at the top, we are in an uptrend. Why am I saying that? Because we did this, which is higher, low, higher, low, a high, a higher, high. Right? So the reason why I'm just saying this one is a high, this one is a high, because it's not higher than anything. It's not higher by any, the previous high that we had on this chart was somewhere there, which is higher than it. So this is our first high. The second one, it's higher than it. So that's why I'm saying it's very important to say that the moment, it's just that this one we can't. The only time when we can say now we can draw a trend line, it's when we did this. And then when we did this, by this I mean what? We had a high here, the day when the price went above that high, and it gave us low number 1, low number 2. It means now we can put a trend line, which is what? A bullish trend line. It shows that the structure, the market structure is what? It's uptrend. Why? Because it's having, this is going to be a higher high. Obviously, the day we cross this high, it means that the price has to turn. If the day decides to turn, it will turn higher than this. Obviously, already, even if it hasn't turned yet, Mara, we know that the day it decides to turn, it will be above this high here. So it's obviously going to be higher high. That's why I'm saying we have a bullish trend or uptrend, because we've got what? Higher high, and this low is lower than that, and lower high. Therefore, we can put our trend line. Right? And then when you put your trend line like that, it means, your trend line was here. Ne? And then the price went up, and then it formed a new low. It didn't come to the trend line. It didn't give you an opportunity to enter. Mara, that's fine. That's your trend line. And then this is a new higher high, ne? And then this is a higher low because it's higher than the previous one, right? I hope you're still together there. And then it went up, which went above that, which means it is going to form a new higher high, right? So if it does that, it means this was the higher low, ne? So remember I said you need to make sure that you update. Remember, you must always update your trend line. Why am I saying this? The reason I'm saying this is because if you keep your trend line here, how long do you think it's going to take the price to change the direction? Because if it's here, it means enough for you to say the trend has now moved from being going up to going down. You're going to wait until the price comes here, of which that will be long time. It will be very late. The price would have reversed already. Wherever. So that's why the moment you have a new high or a new higher high, always update your trend line to the recent lows. This is the low, this is our new low. Then move your trend line there so that it is closer to your thing. This is the current thing, the current trend. Wherever. And then there is my support, there was my resistance, which is broken. Wherever. So it is a resistance, yes. Remember in the concept, yes, support and resistance, I said what? Just because you have a resistance, remember the price came here, it went down. Your mentors will be saying when the price gets here, they'll be like, selling, sell, we are at the resistance, sell, we are at the resistance. No, we cannot play like that. We must wait for the price to show us signs of reversal there before we can sell. Because just because the price turned here previously does not mean the price is obliged to turn there again now. So we wait for the price to show us that it is showing signs of weakness here, or pin bars or engulfing patterns. Remember those things that I mentioned in my previous videos. Just make sure you watch those videos. Then you know that no, if it doesn't give me any of those reversal patterns, I'm not selling. And then what did it do? It broke the resistance and then it went up. What did it do? It came back and retested the resistance. Remember when I said your resistance, when it is broken, it can turn into support. Your resistance, when it's broken, it can turn into support. Support broken can turn into resistance. This is what I meant, because this was our resistance. It got broken, right? But look what the price did when it came back to it. It retested it, and then it sort of reacted to it and went back up. You see? But now I just wanted to show you the trend line in an uptrend. So let's look for downtrend and then do a trend line. Okay, I just want to be quick now. Let's start here, assessing here. We went down, down, down. So we have a new lower low, so you can put your trend line there. And then the moment you have a new low, remember we are updating our trend line. Trend line now moves from here to start here, and then this is a new low. Then that's how you update your trend line. That's how you draw a trend line in a downtrend. But remember, in consolidation, we don't have trend line. We only have support and resistance because they are horizontal, and trend line has to be what? At an angle. So we are done, my friends. So I hope you have learned something. The concept of drawing an accurate trend line on your chart. It's very, very important. If you can put a accurate trend line on your chart, then you will, even your trades, they're most likely gonna work out. Obviously, you're not gonna win on the trades, Mara. At least you must always have logic. Always ask questions. If they say put a trend line here, ask them why. If they say put it above and we're going up, why? They will say, no, we wanted to test and then we sell. Then you ask them, why are we selling if we are in an uptrend? They're not going to answer you. So now I'll tell you all the tricks that I know. When I just make sure that you like and subscribe. The more you guys like and subscribe and refer your friends, that's the more we can reach more people and then enlighten them also. So it's cheers, guys. I'll see you in the next one.